Okay, everybody. I was just telling Tim, it gets to this time of year and it's practice, 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 and then game, practice, 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 and game. It's a fun time to be a football coach. Just reflecting on Saturday night's game, it was a game that, for me as a head football coach, I had some real concerns with. Certainly, the first time a young football team goes on the road, you don't know how guys are going to respond. Coming off what would have been perceived as an emotional win against Missouri, how a football team is going to respond the next week. And, I always felt that Texas State would play much better against us than they showed against Texas A&M, and that was certainly the case. We did some good things during the course of the game until we controlled the clock well offensively. We ran the football. We converted some third downs in the second half, and particularly, so that was good. Defensively, we scored again on defense, which is hard to do, and I think our turnover margin right now is excellent. We're taking care of the football. The one turnover that we had was at the end of the half, and you're going to have that when you're throwing them up in the end zone. So I think offensively we're really doing a good job taking care of the football, and we're really doing, I think, an excellent job going after the football. I thought we tackled fairly well in the game. Some of the areas of improvement, certainly I think we need to throw the ball more effectively than what we did Saturday night. Some of that's a combination of Sean, some of it's receivers, but those numbers have got to improve, and we're going to work hard on that during the course of this week. Defensively, point total was really good, 14 points. I think that's excellent. We need to do a better job getting off the field, and I thought there was too many yards given up during the course of the game, so we need to improve there. In the kicking game, Cooper continues to kick the ball very well. I thought we did a nice job covering some punts, and with their punter, I thought we did a pretty good job of fielding the football and not having all the long rolls. So from that standpoint, it was really a good win for us. It certainly wasn't pretty. I thought it was disappointing that we got behind at the beginning, but I thought our players really did a nice job adapting. And I thought our coaches really did a great job adjusting during the course of the game. Some of the runs that we began to wear them down with were some of the adjustments. And then also, I think the biggest thing was some of the pass rush lanes in the second half. I thought we did a much better job pressuring the quarterback with a four-man rush. So that was good. In reference to this week's game, Idaho, we're excited about playing at home. It's also going to be a game where we're going to be honoring the Black 14, so we're excited about that as well. And hopefully we have a really good crowd. It's a 3 o'clock game, and there's nothing better in the fall than an afternoon game in Laramie. The weather looks like it's going to be outstanding, so hopefully we have a good crowd. I think we will, a lot of energy. Idaho's a team that, they got off to a rough start against Penn State. I think Penn State's an excellent football team. They did rebound last week. Quarterback, they're playing two quarterbacks, and what's unique about them, while their offense changes some, not drastically, but they're different styles of players. Petrino is really an outstanding playmaker. He'll improvise. He finds open receivers. He dishes the ball off at the right time. He's very mobile. Their other quarterback, Richardson, is a different type of fellow, and actually his size is different. We've got him listed as 6'4", 285 pounds. And so pretty large guy, does have a good arm, is somewhat mobile, but not near as mobile as Petrino. But, a style of offense where they'll spread you out and cause some problems. Defensively, I think they're playing good defense. Coach Bresky's heading that up, and Coach Bresky had been here at one time, and so we'll have a stiff challenge there. So another great opportunity for us to get a win. Our players' mindset is whatever we can do to get to 1-0, taking these games one at a time. So at this time, I'll open up any questions anybody might have. Yes, Roger.
Rick, when you mentioned, the passing game and Sean improving and the receivers, is Sean just, is it footwork, is it mechanics, and what about the receivers? Is it route running or just getting open?
You know what, I think there's at times, I think a little bit is more on Sean than it is receivers, but there's two sides of it. Some of the throws that Sean had were a little bit errant. We made a couple deep attempts. We came up with an interference on one call and came up real close on another fade. And then Gunner had a big catch on one fade as well. And so some of the throws were not high percentage passes, but there were some other throws that Sean's just got to get his feet settled, take his correct read, and get that percentage up to where we're in the 60-some percent. And right now we're off. I think we're down around 40-some percent. And anytime you're throwing at that rate, it's going to be hard to win a lot of games unless you're running the ball really effectively, which we are. Yes.
Coach, kind of a follow-up. Do you get a better sense of Sean's better on the move, or would you like to see him kind of plant his feet and go on some of the, especially when it looks like on some of those RPOs?
Well, an RPO route is not going to be something on his move. It's going to be important for him to set his feet, and we think he can throw that well. I also think he's good at throwing the ball, but you know, the passing trees that we have in our offense are pretty complex, and so I think we've got to recognize that while he has played last year, he's not completely exposed to a lot of these concepts. We're going to keep on force feeding him, but like I said, he's got to become more consistent as far as with his completion and where his accuracy needs to improve. Yes, Dave.
You mentioned taking some shots. I know you guys have taken some shots with Rocket. There's been some other balls that have been dropped, and you talked in the preseason about wanting to see this receiving crew make some more of those contested catches. Would you like to? Does this receiving crew need to do that and help out?
I think they need to do a little bit better job, and not to call out any group. I think they have made some contested plays, but that's really what we're looking for. More consistency. I do not think that the all the low rate is all on the receivers dropping balls. So I think we're taking some shots, but those contested plays, the play that Gunner made, we need more of those. So if you can do it once, he can do it. Yes, Robert.
What were your thoughts of Braden Smith coming in after Rome got hurt? I mean, obviously those guys were both going to play and have played early on, but what were your thoughts of him?
I thought it took a little bit of time for Braden to get adjusted to the speed of the game, you know, his tackling and things of that nature. He did make an outstanding interception and turned the field over there, and that was really important. I thought he got better as the game went along. I know he was winded. You know, we did not have Rome. I think Rome maybe played 4 plays, and so Braden played a lot of those plays. And so it'll be good right now. We're anticipating Rome being back. We'll keep you, I guess, abreast on where we're at with those safeties. Right now we've got Rome listed number 1. The indications that we have is he'll be ready to go, but that could be a game time decision. Yes.
What was the injury that he sustained?
You know, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. A lot of coaches won't, but it was a concussion.
Okay.
And he's going through the protocol there. Yes.
Eric and X, what are their statuses?
Eric
Aboisier, yeah.
He's fine.
Okay.
And X has got a little bit of a tweaked ankle. He may not practice today, but we are anticipating he'll be back at full speed probably tomorrow. Yes.
Coach, 2 weeks in a row had to come from behind, got down early. Any concerns about the start of the game and just your comments?
Well, we're always concerned about the start of the game. I'm more concerned about the end of the game than the start of the game. So that answers your question. Legitimate question, legitimate answer. Yes. Yes.
Coach, you talk about what you saw out of Trey and Titus kind of filling in after X kind of tweaked it. I know he came back into play, but what do you see out of those guys?
Different style of runners, however, we think there was more yards out there. We left some yards on the table. They missed some reads, and some of that's their inexperience. I know Gordy Howard is going to be working with them on their tracks and things like that. Both of them are running really hard. You know, they both bring a little bit different style of running. And so, but they're very capable, and you could tell our confidence in say, like a freshman like Titus. He was playing at meaningful times of the game, and I thought playing well. Yes,
you know, you mentioned, Tyler Hall is a pretty big play guy, and obviously the interception and the kickoff return. He hasn't had a lot of chances for kickoff returns recently, but just nice is it to have that guy back there, whether, just that ability, whether it's on special teams or on defense, to make a play, big plays like that.
Tyler's a big-time playmaker, and I think he's starting to garner some national recognition. The kickoff return, while it didn't result in some points, and we were disappointed in that, but it certainly turned the field over there, and that was, he's got an explosive ability. I know he's returned a kickoff in the past for a touchdown maybe a couple. And then his pick six was excellent. I mean, he read the quarterback right, picked the ball off, and once he picked the ball off, he's got great speed. And we have made the predetermined decision to take him. Last year he played nickel some, but to go ahead and put him as a corner. And a lot of times you saw the advantage of doing that when people are trying to attack our corners like Texas State was doing. And they completed a fair number of balls, but they went to the well once too often, and it cost them. And I thought that play, Robert, really turned the game around. You know, we were down, and I wasn't being sarcastic. I'm disappointed with our starts as well. But that play there flipped the whole game around, and so Tyler's a big-time playmaker, and we're excited about having him.
Is that something that you just develops over time? Is that something, I mean, I know he's played a lot even since he was a youngster here. Has that been developed, or is that just something that's kind of innate with a guy like that?
I think his experience has really made a difference. He always had ability. He's gotten a little bit stronger. He's always been explosive, but you know, the interception that he made, he played that one out just perfectly, and that's confidence. And there was a couple other plays that, through experience, you understand. Okay, is this guy really going deep on me, or can I you know, take this route and compress it a little bit more? He's taken to coaching. Coach Richardson's done a great job with him, and he's been a big-time player for us, and we're leveraging that.
Going back to Braden Smith, you know, I know before he got the interception, it was a play or two before where he had a chance at another interception. What did he show you, you know, by maybe just kind of shaking that off and actually going and making that play?
I think a lot of it is his confidence, that he's staying in the fight, staying in the fray, and if he doesn't make a play, doesn't get down on himself. And there were a couple of plays that we wish he could have made as far as tackles and things of that nature, but to come up with the interception like he did was an outstanding play. I mean, it was a big-time interception, and once again, he turned the field over on that play. I think we got points out of that one. Yes.
Coach, you talked about your pass rush. Did you guys change much going into this last game, or was it just better effort?
I know we changed. No, we changed. I cut you off there, but we did change some things at halftime. You know, everybody's going to have the game's going to begin to start to unfold. We went in with a certain game plan, and then you adjust. Now, hopefully, we're not radically adjusting. We didn't, but you know, with some of their protections, we dialed up some of the rushes that we felt like were going to be advantageous against how they were protecting in certain situations. And so I thought our guys, you know, got it a little bit of an ebb and flow. Okay, how's this offensive tackle setting? How's the center setting? Where are the lanes going to be, and what are they trying to do? And that pass rush, I think we sacked him 5 times, and there were a lot of hurries. And I thought that had a big impact in the ball game. Also thought that A.J. Cooper had done a great job. They were tempoing us and running at a quick pace, but we were able to get guys on and off the field in timely manners and have fresh guys in. And that's more easily said than done. I think Coop has done a great job of having a pulse on when we can get new fresh guys in there, and fresh pass rushers do make a difference. Yes.
What are your thoughts on these young defensive tackles? We didn't know a lot about them coming into the year, and after 2 games, it seems like they've really held their own and started to really come on, especially in the second half.
Yeah, they have, and you know, losing Ravante was our top defensive lineman coming in. All of the defensive linemen, so we're well pleased. I think we're still a little bit thin, but the guys have shown up. Mario's done, I think, an excellent job stepping in as a starter, and Javari's done a good job pressing the pocket, and we're playing Cole, and you know, it's just kind of a whole host of guys, and it's been a little bit by committee, but we're getting good play and good push by those guys. Yes.
Beyond the lack of pass rush, sometimes is there anything on film that you're seeing on the back end where there are breakdowns occurring, where you were giving up all these passing yards?
Yeah, there were some yardage. There were some zones that we were in that I think we need to be more disciplined with our eyes. There were a couple plays that occurred that some of it was, you know, the pass rush wasn't there, and that begins to skew and put some more pressure on the back end. We've got to be more disciplined there, and that's what I would attribute those things to. And I also thought their quarterback did a nice job, though.
Yeah.
You know, he had spent a lot of time with Coach Stitt before when he was at Montana, so they had an ebb and flow. A lot of their play calls and their formations kind of reverted back to a lot of things that they had done at Montana. We watched a lot of that tape, and I thought they did a nice job scheming us on some stuff.
As of now, do you still anticipate not having Antonio this week?
Right now we do not have Antonio.
Are you expecting him to have him back at some point this season?
Hopefully, hopefully it'll be kind of a week by week, you know, where he's at, and we'll let you know, and hopefully he's able to come back soon. Any other questions? Do we have anybody on the line? Going once, going twice, gone. Okay, thanks, guys.